Hello, hello. Stephanie Zima here, Walk It Free, where we heal, connect, and level up. And today I'm talking to all you online entrepreneurs that are wanting to create a business, but you do not want to sacrifice your family. And you are so tired of hustling. You are so tired of trying to make it work, yet you still want to have the money, right? If that is you, I need you to hear me today. And I need you to really pay attention to what I have to say, because I'm talking to you, whether or not you're in network marketing or you are selling insurances, or maybe you're selling real estate, whatever it is, right? Any sales kind of job, we associate sales with the hustle bustle, with the manipulating, with sleazy, slimy, yada yada yada. And all of that seems like a lot of work, and especially when we are mothers and we have sports schedules going on and homework to deal with. And some of you are in the toddler stages, some of you are in the middle age, the teenage stages, where we have our own little difficulties, and some of you are already in the college prep stage, where it's really going crazy when you have to figure out all these applications. And I hear you, and it can be so overwhelming, and your business can be put on the back burner because it's just this one extra thing that you really don't have time for, when your family really needs you and everybody is putting demands and tabs onto your time, right? And you need to have time a little bit for yourself. I know myself, like, there are moments, I sit at the car, and most of the time I work in the car sitting at the sports practices, but there's sometimes I just need to watch Netflix. I just need to start having a little bit of me time, because for some reason I think there's never enough me time, right? So I hear you totally. And here's what I want to tell you today. Instead of constantly hustling and feeling like you're behind the eight ball, what you need to do is you need to switch it into leading. You need to get control over your schedule. You need to get control over your priorities. What is it that you're really working on? What project are you needing to move the needle forward? I have been guilty so many years of just hustling, trying. And this last year, or actually the last couple of years, is when I made the switch. When my daughter ended up with cancer, I started realizing, like, oh no, she needs to take priority. My family does need to take priority, but I also knew I needed to make my business work, right? So what I did is I started to get smarter with my time. I started to get smarter in organizing what project am I working on and what project am I moving the needle forward. I realized I can't do it all. I just cannot. I cannot do it all. So when you get clear on what project it is, and when I say project, you, like, let's say you have your online business, you need to figure out, are you having trouble with lead generations, meaning creating content, figuring out how to start conversations? Is that where your problem is? Or is your problem duplication and closing the deal? Where is your immediate issue? See, many of you are trying to do it all, and you're trying, and then you come up with the excuses of, I don't have time, or I don't want to do that, or I don't have, like, enough resources, or I don't know how. All these excuses, right, are just ways to comfort you. See, I'm not saying it to be mean to you. I'm saying it because I know the pain that is behind it. I know the pain that you really need that scarcity. I mean, you really need that work, but it's not happening. So it's triggering scarcity inside of you. And that scarcity, that I might not be good enough, for some people it fuels you, right? And some people are saying, okay, if you think I'm not good enough, I'm going to show you I'm not good enough, right? And so that anger can be serving as a driver, as an accelerator. But some of you are being put into a freeze mode where you just stop doing. Your brain does not work, and you're like in this haze, in this brain fog, and you're not able to make it happen. So clear from hustling to leading is where your answer is. You need to lead on. Where am I in this whole process? Which one of these puzzle pieces do I need to fix And where do I need to start? Where do I need to improve skills? Where do I need to possibly get a mentor to support me? See, I love holding my people accountable because, sometimes they need that. I needed that, right? I needed somebody to say, wait a minute, why didn't you do any reach outs today? I thought you said you were going to do that. Have you done the list yet? Maybe you wanted to show me the list. Okay. It's easier when you have somebody that asks you for the stuff because someone cares enough for your success. So that's why you usually want to pay a mentor, because the mentors usually they care for your success because it makes them successful, right? But also it's kind of like having, even entrepreneurship can be tricky, right? We all want the freedom, but we're not used to the freedom. We are not used to leading ourselves first. We are used to having someone tell us what to do. So when you have a mentor, the mentor is not your boss, but the mentor kind of can serve and act like this driving force that you would have if you would have a boss, right? If you have a mentor that is capable, oops, my hair is like all over the place. So if you have a mentor that is capable of keeping you accountable, if you have somebody that just teaches and never asks you for coming to the table and say, hey, did you fill this out? Did you do this? How about that? Right? If you have somebody that's too scared to ask you for progress, then obviously you have an issue. But most of the mentors that I know, they are usually asking you for some kind of a progress, some kind of a homework, and that is where it's going to be, okay? Because it's going to help you move yourself from not doing it to actually doing it, or at least figuring out if there is another obstacle that you may have not worked through yet. So leading your schedule, leading your projects, leading that on is how you help yourself advance in your business, making progress, and not sacrificing your family. Okay. There are times when you have to run really, really hard, like Black Friday, for example, or something, right? When you have a special deal, a special promotion, a special something to get after, that's when you have to hustle. But usually you get your family on board and you say, hey, listen, mommy is going to have to do this for like a month or for a day or for a week or whatever your time frame is, and then I'll be back. But if you do it all the time, that's when you breed the resentment, right? When you never spend time with your kids, looking them in the eye, and they all see you hustling all the time without any explanation, that's usually when A, you're going to get frustrated, B, they're going to get frustrated with you. So what you want to do, and I had that happen, there were moments when I needed to build this business, and I was out there, I was building, and my daughter, and it wrenched me. My daughter said to me, she's like, Mom, you're always working. You're not available for me. And so what I did is I made sure that I made time for our vacations. I made sure that I put in a bedtime routine, that I connected with her. I made sure that I also showed her my schedule and said, this is when mommy works and this is when I spend time with you. And I counted off the hours that I was working, and in the end, I showed her, I'm like, I'm a mom, more hours than I'm actually a business owner. So when I showed her that, she was like, oh, yeah. But see, it feels different sometimes unless you see things black and white. So becoming the leader again, not just hustling crazy blindly, but becoming the leader in my business, in my life, really solved that relationship. Okay. And that's what I want to tell you today. So if you have not taken inventory, it's now the third week in 2026. Okay. Many of you have gone through your, first year New Year's resolutions, you've started your programs, and you started realizing, like, maybe I'm still not overcoming old habits. Maybe I'm still not doing the new steps that I said I was going to do. Maybe you still don't really know why you can't take the action, why you cannot progress in your business. If that is the case, I really want you to check out the Freedom Mentorship. We are going down deep, okay, much deeper than any coaching program that I have seen out there, into your psyche into your habits, into your nervous system responses, into what's going on with your emotions. And when I say that, I'm not saying that we are just a bunch of complainers in there. That's not what we're doing. We're not complaining and wallowing in our emotions in there. No, we are going in there like the swampland of the soul. We're going to take a look at what is happening here. Where is all this come from? What thoughts are we having? What state of emotions are we in? What identity are we having? How do we see ourselves? And then from there, we are taking the appropriate actions. And that is how you are actually going to make a change in your life. That is how you're going to level up in your business and level up the quality of your life. So check it out, www.walkitfree.com. And if you're watching this on a reel or something somewhere, link in the bio, link below, check it out. Okay. All right. I'll see you all later. Have a good one.